Part 122. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1211. Nanziren's words shocked both the West Poison and the North Beggar. Those who can practice martial arts to their level are very confident in themselves. If what Nanziren said is true, even the old naughty boy can create advanced martial arts, so why can't they do the same? Although the 9-yin manual has a great reputation, it actually seems to be just that. Haven't you seen that the Black Wind twins stole the 9-yin manual, and it did set off a bloody storm in the martial arts world? Wang Ke, Peng Lianhu, and others naturally yearn for the manual. In the eyes of Wang Feng and Hong Qigong, it is actually not good enough. Unless the Black Wind twins' martial arts reach the level of the 5 absolutes, it can prove that the 9-yin manual is very remarkable. If it is only the level known so far, it means that this manual is somewhat unworthy of its name. In fact, Chen Xianfeng and Mei Chaofeng only got the lower volume of the 9-yin manual, which is mainly some practical martial arts. They did not get the upper volume for laying the foundation for internal training. The upper and lower volumes are combined into one, and the 9-yin manual is quite powerful. For the 5 Supremes, it has a great reference value. But to say that you can be invincible in the world with the manual, that is a foolish dream. Hong Qigong actually let go of the manual a long time ago. Otherwise, it would not be Lu Chenfeng's turn to deal with the Black Wind twins, and the Beggars sect would have taken action long ago. Of course, the power of the Beggars sect is more focused on the territory of the Jin Kingdom in the north, while the Black Wind twins are mainly making trouble in the territory of the Song dynasty in the south. It is not easy for Hong Qigong to enforce the law across regions. The 9-yin manual has another meaning to Wang Feng. It can be said that it has become his inner demon. He just fights for it out of habit and has never thought about this matter carefully. I don't know if Nanziren's words can play a role in him. Anyway, he looked at Nanziren deeply, bowed his hands, and ordered his subordinates to sail away from the island. Watching their sails sink into the horizon from a distance, Xiaoming and others set off to return to the island under the leadership of the servants. Even though Wang Feng and his nephew left with the ship, it didn't mean that Peach Blossom Island was safe. They might return someday. They didn't even need to dock. When they reached a certain distance, Wang Feng could swim to the island with his inner strength. It was absolutely impossible to defend against. Xiaoming could only be careful. Back at Jiqiuai Pavilion, Huang Yaoshi and Zhou Batong had finished fighting. He was inviting Old Boy to eat. Guojing and Huang Rong also ate a few bites. Huang Rong learned cooking skills from her father. This time, it was Huang Yaoshi who cooked. It is conceivable how happy Zhou Batong was eating. He didn't even care about being imprisoned for 15 years. He was really generous. But Old Boy was just like that. Seeing Hong Qigong and others coming back, Old Boy still had food in his mouth, and he didn't forget to show off his achievements. It was a pity that he had too much food in his mouth and his words were unclear, so Hong Qigong and others didn't hear a word clearly. It was only when Huang Yaoshi himself said that he lost to Zhou Batong that everyone understood. In one day, he defeated 2 of the 5 great masters of the Central Plains, so the old naughty boy was proud enough. Of course, there was a lot of water in it. Wang Feng didn't want to show his true colors, and didn't want to fight to the death, so he admitted defeat. Anyway, it's not the time for the Huashan sword contest. Huang Yaoshi felt a little guilty for not fighting Zhou Batong to the end. This is the character of the East Evil. He is willing to vent his anger and still be stubborn. At the beginning, because the Black Wind twins stole the 9-yin manual, he vented his anger on several other disciples. Later, he regretted it and was unwilling to admit it. But just look at him. In order to treat his apprentice's leg, first he created a set of internal skills by himself. Later, he was willing to exchange 3 sets of unique skills from Peach Blossom Island for Nancy Ren to help with the treatment. You can see his personality. The same is true for Zhou Batong. Because his wife Feng Hong died because of the 9-yin manual, Huang Yaoshi was heartbroken and vented his anger on Zhou Batong. He was imprisoned on Peach Blossom Island for 15 years, and forced to hand over the first volume of the 9-yin manual, in order to burn it to commemorate his deceased wife. Over the past 10 years, Huang Yaoshi has figured it out. He doesn't blame the old naughty boy for this matter at all. If there is one person who should take the blame, it is himself. Perhaps the Black Wind twins also have some responsibility for stealing things. But Zhou Batong was completely shot while lying down. The Black Wind twins stole the second volume of the 9-yin manual, and Feng Hong couldn't remember the second volume. It really doesn't make sense to snatch the first volume from the old naughty boy to commemorate his wife. It's just that Huang Yaoshi has made a bet with the old naughty boy, and he is embarrassed to end it early without a winner. Even if he forced the old naughty boy out of the cave a few days ago, he probably wouldn't ask Zhou Batong to hand over the first volume of the 9-yin manual. Now that the old naughty boy has mastered the divine skills and his martial arts have greatly improved, he is already better than himself. Huang Yaoshi also admitted defeat and didn't fight to the end. He even cooked some delicious dishes for Zhou Batong himself as an apology. Of course, this is definitely not enough. Huang Yaoshi has silently kept this apology in his heart. He will pay attention to taking care of the disciples of Quanzhen sect in the future. Being imprisoned for 15 years, no one can stand it. Only the old naughty boy will treat this as a very fun game, and forget it after it passes. After eating Huang Yaoshi's delicious meal, he was not angry at all. He also arranged for others to come and eat together. Such a personality is rare. It's a pity that others can't enjoy Huang Yaoshi's cooking skills. The few dishes made by Huang Yaoshi have been eaten up by the old naughty boy. It was still Xiao Huangrong who cooked and made a sumptuous meal for all the masters and lovers. There are all kinds of dishes such as whose jade flute listens to fallen plum blossoms, 24 bridges moonlit night, 3 friends in winter, and good couple soup. Hong Kigong, Xiren, and Guojing had eaten it before, and they still felt the fragrance lingering on their cheeks when they ate it again. Not to mention Cajun Wu and others who had eaten it for the first time. They almost fought. After 3 rounds of wine and 5 dishes, Nan Xiren suddenly exclaimed "Ah!" Everyone else looked at him in surprise. Nan Xiren said to Guojing, "Jing did you pick up a piece of skin outside Gyun Manor?" Guojing did not mention this to anyone. He used the skin to wrap his dagger and almost never took it out. Therefore, the 7 freaks of Jiangnan did not know. Logically, Xiaoming should not know. But considering the nature of the game system, Xiaoming estimated that this human skin engraved with the 9-yin manual should be in Guojing's hands at present. Sure enough, Guojing gave a positive answer. Xiaoming immediately asked for the skin. At this time, Huang Yaoshi, who was sitting in the main seat, also showed a thoughtful look on his face. His eyes were fixed on the skin that Guojing handed to Nan Xiren. He had interrogated Mei Chaofeng before and knew that the 9-yin manual was now engraved on a piece of human skin. Hearing what Nan Xiren asked Guojing, he was shocked. The skin Guojing picked up outside Gyun Manor, could it be the 9-yin manual? If so, how should he ask for it? Huang Laoxie was in a dilemma. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1212. Xiaoming certainly wouldn't make it difficult for Huang Yaoshi. He deliberately mentioned this at the banquet, just to hand over the human skin with the lower volume of the 9-yin manual to Huang Yaoshi. Continue to earn impression points. It would be best if he could burn it, so that no one would see it and no one would think about it. The upper volume is in the hands of Zhou Batong, the world's #1 master, so it should be very safe. So does Xiaoming have no desire for the 9-yin manual? How could he not? But Xiaoming can cheat. After taking the human skin from Guojing, Xiaoming scanned it at a glance. Although only Huang Xiaoming was scanning, there were several other Xiaomings who also shared the vision. And their mental power was not suppressed by the game system, so they could remember such a scripture at a glance. After only a short time of viewing, Xiaoming handed the human skin to Huang Yaoshi. He said, "Brother Yao, it seems that it is written about martial arts. I can't understand it for the moment, please take a look." Huang Yaoshi had been paying attention to it for a long time. He took it over with a nervous mood. The first sentence of the opening was indeed the way of heaven is to reduce the surplus and supplement the deficiency. Therefore, the void overcomes the reality, and the deficiency overcomes the surplus. Looking down, Huang Yaoshi had some vague impressions of many words and sentences. At this time, there was no doubt that this was the lower volume of the 9-yin manual that Mei Chaofeng had lost. He could also figure out the whole story. On that day, he used the finger-snapping magic to press Mei Chaofeng's acupoints outside Gyun Manor. Mei Chaofeng fell from the tree and lost this human skin. That night, it was the servants of Gyun Manor who went to tie Mei Chaofeng back. The sky was so gloomy that the servants did not see the human skin. Later, it was picked up by the stupid boy Guojing. However, Guojing was blind and did not recognize the gold inlaid jade, and actually used it to wrap his dagger. If Nanziren hadn't pointed it out, the 9-yin manual would have been forgotten, and Guojing might have accidentally burned or damaged it one day. But why did Nanziren mention this at this time? Judging from his appearance, he must know something and brought it up on purpose. This is the 9-yin manual. Doesn't he want it? Huang Yaoshi couldn't figure out that there was someone who was better at memorizing quickly than his wife. And she wouldn't forget. I thought Nanziren was truly upright and was willing to give such a treasure to him. Huang Yaoshi wouldn't accept favors for nothing, so he must ask clearly before speaking. "Brother Nan, from your tone, you guessed what this was before you told Jing, right?" "What?" Huang Laoxi, "Brother Nan, what did you guess?" "Tell me quickly." Before Xiaoming could speak, the old naughty boy heard something new and immediately interrupted. Huang Yaoshi looked at the old naughty boy, then scanned the people at the table, and said word by word, "The 9-yin manual is written on this piece of leather." "What?" everyone exclaimed. Who would have thought that Guojing took out a piece of leather from his arms, and it was the 9-yin manual? There is nothing more strange than this. Huang Laoxi, don't joke. Is that really the 9-yin manual? This is Hong Kigong asking Huang Yaoshi. Old 4, you, no. This is Cajun Wu asking Nanziren. That's great, Brother Zheng. What you picked up is my mother's hard work. Thank you. This is Huang Rong thanking Guojing. For a while, everyone asked at once. Huang Yaoshi stared at Nanziren and said, "Brother Nan, you already knew when you asked Jing, right?" Everyone's eyes were on Nanziren. Xiaoming didn't like the feeling of being the focus, but this time he was mentally prepared. "It's like this. I once checked Chen Suanfeng's body and found that a large piece of skin had been cut off from his chest. I felt a little strange at the time, but I couldn't figure out why. Later, when I heard Brother Zhou talk about the Black Wind twins, I guessed that Chen Xianfeng might have engraved the scripture on himself. This would be safe. After he died, Mei Chaofeng took the skin. I heard that Jing picked up a piece outside Gyun Manor a few days ago, so I thought." Looking around at everyone, some people suddenly realized, and some people looked skeptical. Nanziren's words could not explain all the questions, and his imagination was too big. Normal people should not think so much. In fact, if Xiaoming didn't know the plot, his brain would not turn in this way, it was too complicated. And this is not the main problem. No matter who discovers it, it's good to find the 9-yin manual. The real question is, why did he make things clear in front of so many people? Wouldn't it be better to quietly take the 9-yin manual for himself? Brothers, I have heard Brother Joe talk about the history of this scripture before. I agree with Master Wang's idea. This book has done great harm to people and should be destroyed. Since Master Huang wants to use it to commemorate his deceased wife, it is just right to burn it. Kill two birds with one stone. Burn it? Kill two birds with one stone? What a bullshit! Many people felt it was a pity. But most people did not raise any objections. The 7 freaks of Jiangnan always listened to Nan Ziren. Even if they had questions, they would ask in private. In front of outsiders, they would not question the 4th brother. Guojing and Huangrong were the youngest, so it was not their turn to express their opinions. Hong Qigong had long put aside the matter of the scripture and had no intention of claiming it for himself. With the secret of immortality, he was not worried about his own strength. As for the scripture, it didn't matter how it was burned. Can he roast a beggar's chicken at the same time? Only the old naughty boy was unhappy and lost his temper. When everyone asked him what he wanted, he couldn't say 1, 2, 3. The old naughty boy was indeed deceived by Feng Hung. But the first volume of the 9 Yin manual in his hand was destroyed by himself. Feng Hung memorized it by force. In other words, the second volume of the 9 Yin manual will not be returned to him. Moreover, he once swore that he would not practice the martial arts in the manual. Even if Huang Yaoshi burned this human skin, he had fulfilled his brother's entrustment in disguise. Zhou Batong should actually agree. The reason why the old naughty boy disagreed was nothing more than coveting the martial arts in the manual. He was a martial arts fanatic. Although he could not learn the martial arts in the manual, he also hoped that others could learn it and show it to himself. So he had an idea and said, "Huang Laoxi, this is your wife's thing and should belong to your daughter. Let's ask Ronger how to deal with it, okay?" Zhou Batong's words were actually unreasonable. After the wife died, the first heir was of course the husband. How could it be Huang Rong? But this statement worked for Huang Yaoshi. He actually turned his attention to his daughter. It is estimated that in Huang Yaoshi's subconscious mind, he was reluctant to let such a brilliant martial art be burned. But he himself was not aware of this mentality. So after the old naughty boy proposed, he subconsciously followed Zhou Batong's words. In a flash, Huang Rong became the focus of the whole audience. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1213. It is obvious what Huang Rong will choose. As a girl who is outgoing, it is best to give something left by her mother to her lover. So Huang Rong's first choice is to let Brother Jing learn the 9 Yin manual. Unexpectedly, Guo Jing firmly disagreed. This was all caused by the original work. Because in the original work, Guo Jing had seen the skeleton left by Mei Chaofeng after practicing martial arts. He believed that the 9 Yin manual was a vicious martial art. So he refused to practice. It was the old naughty boy who deceived him to learn a lot of martial arts in the manual. In this life, Guo Jing accepted a lot of teachings from Nan Ziren. It stands to reason that his knowledge should not be so shallow. But this is a game. The system thinks that Guo Jing should hate the 9 Yin manual at this time, so it forced Guo Jing's thoughts to deviate a bit. He politely rejected Ronger's kindness. Brother Jing didn't want it, and little Huang Rong didn't take it to heart, and gave it to her father casually. The 9 Yin manual really has no status in her heart. With Hong Qigong, Huang Yaoshi, and Nan Ziren, 3 elders with great martial arts skills, does Brother Jing still worry about not having good kung fu to learn? A copy of the 9 Yin manual is not a big deal. So, everyone accompanied Huang Yaoshi to his wife's grave and burned the human skin to ashes. Huang Yaoshi never looked at the contents of the 9 Yin manual again. Others also treated it calmly, Only the old naughty boy was scratching his head anxiously, but he could do nothing. At this point, most of the exquisite martial arts recorded in the second volume of the Nine Yin Manual have theoretically disappeared. Only the Nine Yin White Bone Claw and Heart-Destroying Palm of Mei Chaofeng and Yang are left. Wang Chongyang, Chen Xianfeng, and Feng Hung have passed away. In addition, Huang Yaoshi, Zhou Batong, and Nan Ziren only looked at the Nine Yin Manual a few times and did not remember anything. This also cut off everyone's thoughts. There should be some martial arts in the Tomb of the Living Dead, but that is the plot of The Return of the Condor Heroes, and this is the secret realm of the Legend of the Condor Heroes. The system has no arrangement. Xiaoming went to Zhongnan Mountain to search for a long time, but did not find the ancient tomb. Therefore, as long as Nan Ziren avoids the martial arts with obvious characteristics such as the Nine Yin Divine Claw, Nine Yin White Bone Claw, he can basically use the Nine Yin Manual as his own martial arts. In addition, he also got the gratitude of Master Huang Yao and his daughter, and the praise of Hong Qigong, Keijin Wu, and others for nothing, which is a big profit. As for the dissatisfaction of the old naughty boy, it did not fall on Nan Ziren. Naturally, it was the Huang family father and daughter who took it. Huang Rong said that it was no problem. It was not easy to deal with the old naughty boy. Just a few small dishes could handle it. Next, everyone arranged the marriage of Guojing and Huang Rong. Of course, they are not old, and it is too early to get married now, just to settle the marriage first. Huang Xiaoming was temporarily idle. It is necessary to prepare for the regular reincarnation task at 2400 hours on October 9th. During this period, some changes occurred in the main game. The explorer is still studying in Tokyo City. Because the intelligent program Xiao is more hardworking, the explorer's life occupation has been promoted from an apprentice scholar to a junior scholar. The advantage is that when Xiaoming uses identification spells, the success rate will increase. The explorer's unique archaeology will also be affected. The higher the scholar level, the richer the knowledge, and it is natural to increase the success rate of identification spells. It doesn't matter if the identification spell increases the success rate. The bonus to archaeology is really useful. In addition, in terms of the task of the status of the ascetic senior officials have accepted the new power of the Force in principle. In order to specialize in this new power, a dozen young ascetics were sent to see him and accept the Force seeds. After that, the explorer does not need to stay in Tokyo City. Of course, the use and training methods of this new power need to be further developed. Before the development work is initially completed, the explorer's task is not considered completed, so there is still no task reward. This makes Xiaoming very depressed. The Force. Isn't that awesome enough? If the senior monks can't complete the development work, it can only be said that they are incompetent, and the explorers are not responsible. If Xiaoming fails in his mission and doesn't get the reward for this reason, then he will lose a lot. I guess the system is planning this way. Let the player go to the secret realm related to the Force to obtain some training methods of the Force. And then contribute more to the mission. The reward can also be better. This is a challenge and an opportunity. Even if the player doesn't do this, the mission may not fail. Maybe the reward will be less. Xiaoming found that he seemed to have split his head in this matter. This task is also a task for the explorer's adventure level to be promoted to level 3. If you don't hurry up and complete it, the explorer can't be promoted. He gave the Force seed to the monks just to let the monks study it for him, and he would wait for the ready-made results in the future. Now it seems that if he really waits like this, the result may be mediocre. It seems that he should try his luck in the secret realm or mission world related to the Force. Really, if Xiaoming had known this earlier, why would he have done this? Helplessly, he could only send signals to Zhang Shizu's lineage, the Li family, the Shen family, and even the Tan family. Ask them to help collect relevant things that can allow them to enter the world or secret realm related to the Force. It would be even better if they could directly give the method of practicing the force. This problem can only wait for the result. However, Xiaoming's two newly added source energies can be tested as soon as possible. Before, Xiaoming had three energy sources that could be used to strengthen items. They were the original natural silver energy, the green energy from the reincarnation space, and the yellow energy from the three major alien races. Now there is also the red energy from the spider and the purple energy from the underworld. Xiaoming has been itching to give it a try. However, the red energy seed has just been cultivated into a seedling with the help of the reincarnation space. It needs to be used sparingly. Xiaoming's first target was the explorer's ascetic suit and cane. The ascetic suit and cane have been strengthened with energy 4 times. In addition to the 3 energy strengthenings, there was another one as a reward for completing the task issued by the system. The first 3 strengthenings added 3 career options to the suit: crossbow, swordsman, and alchemist. The 4th time added the reset to 0 attribute. This was a safety measure that Xiaoming thought of later because of his more frequent contact with players. It ensures that even if the explorer's weapons and armor are stolen by other players or NPCs, all enhanced properties will be lost, and Xiaoming's secret will not be revealed. Next, Xiaoming had an idea and used the red and purple energy sources to strengthen the ascetic suit and cane. And when strengthening this time, Xiaoming made an assumption in his mind, and sure enough, the system strengthened in the direction selected by Xiaoming. This time the strengthening is a 2-in-1 strengthening, using 2 energy sources at the same time. Only a new profession is obtained, but it is a very powerful profession. Jedi Knight. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1214. Xiaoming has already dealt with this kind of hidden profession in the Magic Planet game. It can be said that the current hidden professions are basically opened by him. Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, Saint Seiya, Jedi Knight, there are probably many more, such as Death God. After all, the top level of players is only level 3, and level 4 is still a long way off. Players at this level are still a little short of opening hidden professions. Mainly because the players are having fun playing with each other. This has caused the phenomenon of slowing down the upgrade speed of the large forces. Even if there are occasional fast upgrades, they will be envied by other players and drag him down. Hidden professions usually appear in the position of the second profession. For example, the second profession of the researcher is Naruto, the second profession of the diver and the informant is Hunter x Hunter. Even the explorer had a second profession earlier. That is the Taoist profession obtained after worshipping Gongsun Sheng as a teacher. This profession originally existed in the Magic Planet game. For this reason, Xiaoming is not worried. After the task is completed, there will definitely be a reward for opening the Jedi Knight profession in the system rewards. What will happen then? Is there a third profession? The effect of the second profession has been reduced. The career upgrade no longer improves the player's 5 attributes, but only grants new career skills. What if it becomes the third profession? If the Jedi Knight skills are discounted again, how much meaning will it have? After this enhancement, it is equivalent to merging the Jedi Knight profession into the first profession, the ascetic. As a result, Xiaoming created a bug in this way. In theory, it takes a while before the system confirms that the Jedi Knight profession appears in the main game, and the task of the explorer to be promoted to level 3 is completed. However, Xiaoming forcibly added the Jedi Knight profession to the ascetic suit. The system had to be led by the nose. Not only did this profession officially take root, but the explorer was also directly promoted to level 3 due to the completion of the task. This is not over yet. The ascetic group also successfully obtained the practice inheritance of the Jedi Knight. Of course, this inheritance was not learned by a few high-ranking ascetics, but by the ascetic suits and canes. As mentioned in the previous article, the ascetic's basic skill inheritance is automatically recorded in the suit. Whenever the ascetics are upgraded to a certain level, they will automatically obtain skills from the suit. So, because of this convenient condition, some Jedi inheritances automatically appeared in the Explorer's suit. Of course, they are all basic, because the Explorer is only level 3. The Explorer's master, Mr. Guo, is still in the exploratory stage. Some people may ask, don't Guo Jinsong and his fellow brothers and sisters and the others also have ascetic suits and canes? How can there be no inheritance of the Force? That's because their suit titles have not yet received the prefix Jedi Knight, that is, they have not officially taken office as Jedi Knights, so they have not obtained inheritance. The original design of the game system must be gradual. Take the Jedi Knight as an example. The Force comes from the secret realm of the Star Wars series. In the first step, players must complete tasks in these worlds and obtain certain universal items. In this way, players can open the Force for their characters or NPCs in other worlds. In the second step, when there are enough players and NPCs with the Force, the system will start the task chain that introduces the Jedi Knight profession into the main game. After that, there must be a series of tasks, the third, fourth, fifth steps. After the tasks are completed, the Jedi Knight profession will truly take root in the main game. This is not even the end. The inheritance of the profession that has just taken root is generally very primitive, and there will be various tasks for players to improve this profession. As a result, Xiaoming used the source energy plugin and the characteristics of the ascetic suit to complete this task in one step. Fortunately, the task that the explorer took was ascetic status, and the goal of this task was not particularly clear, because the upper limit of the task completion was very high and the lower limit was also very low. Only in this way can the explorer get a relatively powerful reward. If it is a task with a very clear goal, such as the system asking players to open the Force for several NPCs, then no matter how much the explorer does, the task reward will be the same. The part that is completed in excess is equivalent to useless work, which is a waste of time. Of course, introducing a new profession in the main game is a hidden task, which still has certain benefits. What does the game master think about Xiaoming's destroying the balance of the game? The nine-tailed fox said, the more the better. Why? Because every time Xiaoming does this, he will provide a lot of source energy to the system. This is the nine-tailed fox's favorite thing. Why did she work so hard to make such a game? Isn't it just for high-quality energy? This is called seeking benevolence and getting benevolence. With Xiaoming's input of these source energies, many sleeping companions are gradually waking up. Therefore, the rewards given by the system are quite generous, tempting Xiaoming to do this more times in the future. This time, Xiaoming strengthened the ascetic suit and forcibly created the Jedi Knight profession, which is equivalent to completing two tasks. One is to successfully introduce a new profession to the main game. This is a hidden task. Every time it is completed, the system will automatically give a corresponding reward. This reward is generally not too much, because introducing a new profession is not a particularly difficult thing. There will be more tasks to gradually improve the new profession in the future. Since Xiaoming has brought the basic heritage of the Jedi Knight into the main game, the rewards will be much higher accordingly. Second, he completed the task of ascetic status on the surface. Think about the status of Jedi Knights. Xiaoming has heard of it. In the world of Star Wars, Jedi Knights are a noble group composed of protectors who believe in and respect the Force. Its birth can be traced back to a more civilized and classical era in the history of the Milky Way. The Jedi Knights are very old and have continued for more than 1,000 generations. During the centuries of prosperity and development of the Galactic Republic, Jedi Knights have been serving the Republic as guardians of peace and justice. Although they serve the Republic, they are not a subordinate agency of the government, but a relatively independent organization. In terms of status, they compete with the central government. In the minds of many people, they are even more respected than the government. Now that the ascetic group has obtained this profession, in time, what a noble existence will the status of ascetic knights become. It can be said that after Xiaoming completed this task, there is no need to find a way to improve the status of ascetic knights. After a period of time, when there are several Jedi elders among the high-level officials, the profession of ascetic will be able to compete with any other profession, and may even surpass it. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1215. In order to deliver the reward, the ascetic monks even opened an emergency teleportation array and temporarily sent 3 people from the headquarters. This shows how much importance they attach to this matter. One of them is the explorer's master, the 6th level ascetic bishop Guo Jinsong, and the other is Guo Lao's junior brother, Hong Jinbei, who is also a 6th level bishop. But this time they are just deputies, and the real C position is the 7th level ascetic archbishop, Su Wang Zhaodi. He is not only an ascetic monk, but also a member of the royal family. There is such a person in the history of the parallel world, but because it is not important, he did not appear in the book Far Island's Strange Man. Xiaoming has no idea about his life. And it's useless to know. Because in the game, it has basically been changed beyond recognition. It's not surprising that the royal family appears in the ascetic monks. For political reasons, there are royal family members among the senior managers of the major professions in the Song dynasty. Even among the lower-level personnel, there are royal family members in training. Although they often represent the meaning of the royal family. But in various professions, how much power these people can control depends on their own efforts. If they are really incompetent, they basically have little say. Others can only respect their royal status at most. In large-scale professions such as infantry, cavalry, magicians, priests, etc., the royal family of the Song dynasty will send more members to enter, but the power they control is very general. After all, there are all kinds of birds in the forest, and the various forces in those professions are intertwined, making it difficult to open up the situation. On the contrary, if the royal family is willing to work harder in niche professions such as ascetics, they can indeed gain a good say. Relatively speaking, the profession of ascetics is more valued by the royal family of the Song dynasty. This is determined by the lifestyle of ascetics. The reason is simple. The more people become ascetics, the fewer resources they will consume. The burden on the country will also be reduced accordingly, which is conducive to social stability. It can also check and balance the powerful class, which is very useful. Therefore, among the high-level ascetics, the power of the royal family should not be underestimated. Zhao Di is the leader of this power. In principle, Mr. Guo is also subordinate to King Su. Of course, Mr. Guo himself is also a local lord with a considerable independent voice. He is not a person who obeys Zhao Di's orders. He just tends to be the royal family. This time, the explorer has brought great benefits to Mr. Guo, the ascetic monks, and the royal family. Therefore, King Su Zhaodi came in person to award the explorer. It is true that a good teacher produces a good student. Explorer, you are worthy of being Mr. Guo's proud disciple. You can make such a great contribution. Zhao admires you very much. After introducing each other, Zhao Di praised Guo Jinsong and the explorer. He did not mention his royal identity in his words. Zhao Di swore that less than 30% of this was flattery, and at least 70% was sincere. Archbishop, you are too kind to praise me. Even if I have some achievements, it is all because of the master's good teaching. Xiaoming naturally said a few humble words to earn some face for his master. To be honest, Mr. Guo's teaching of the explorer was limited, and they had not met a few times in total. But Xiaoming still respected Mr. Guo very much, because he was a really good person. Mr. Guo also said, "Your Highness, don't be too polite. I still have a lot to learn. Don't praise the child." Hong Jinbei directly broke the stage. Brother, you are too hypocritical. I don't know who has been so happy that he can't sleep well these days. Ha ha ha, asterisk 4. Everyone said a few polite words and laughed for a while before the award ceremony officially began. If this kind of thing were put in reality, it would be unreasonable not to prepare for several weeks and hold a ceremony with tens of thousands of people. It can't be so troublesome in the game. Players completed a large task and didn't want to wait any longer. It's better to give me the reward immediately. Two birds in the forest are not as good as a bird in the hand. The reward must be taken quickly. The sooner you get it, the sooner it will work. So the system didn't set up so many red tape. Even at the critical moment, the teleportation array was temporarily used to send NPCs to present the award. Of course, before Zhao Di and the other two arrived, the system had already issued the reward for the hidden task. 1. The explorer has been awarded the title of founder of the Jedi Knight. The function is that the player explorer's force skill effect is increased by 100%, all force skills reduce the damage to the explorer by 50%. This title is quite powerful. Just increasing the power of your own force skills is already very good. As for reducing the damage of the force, it is just an insurance. It should not be very useful. People who can use the force in the game are probably all people of the ascetic monk. There is only goodwill between them and me, no contradiction. How could they hurt me? Even the ascetic monks who are not from Zhao Di's faction will not be hostile to the explorer. They also want to become Jedi Knights. Explorers can now be said to be the treasures of everyone in the ascetic monk. At least after many people become Jedi Knights, everyone feels that there is no need to recruit new Jedi Knights, and other factions may change their attitude towards the explorer. But they will not hurt him. After all the ascetic monks have received favors from the explorer. It would be terrible to give yourself a reputation of being ungrateful. Second, as the founder of Jedi Knight, explorers have 3 quotas each week and can grant 3 player characters or NPCs the status of apprentice Jedi Knight. Actually, it is the seed that gives the force. It is the same as what Xiaoming did with Guo Lao and others before, except that he does not need to consume his own energy. Guo Jinsong, Hong Jinbei, Huo Yingxiang and other people who have obtained the Force Seed are currently trainee Jedi Knights. According to the rules, not all trainee warriors can become real Jedi Knights. It still depends on their talent for the Force. However, Xiaoming estimates that at least Guo Lao and Hong Lao can definitely become real Jedi Knights. When they become formal Jedi Knights, their suits can be upgraded and join the profession of Jedi Knight. By then, the inheritance of the Force they have obtained will be more detailed than that obtained by the explorer. After all, they are at level 6, and Xiaoming is only at level 3. Jedi Knight is a very hidden high-level profession in the game. Xiaoming wants to realize it this time, and he must use 2 energy sources at the same time to do it. It can be seen how rare it is. You can also imagine how much players and NPCs are willing to pay to become trainee Jedi Knights. Moreover, this quota has another advantage, that is, it will not be invalidated after expiration. The number of it can be accumulated. It will not be bargained down just because it is about to expire. Xiaoming can hoard it and make a fortune. Maybe players can exchange it with items in the reincarnation space. In fact, in addition to the fixed quota, Xiaoming can also use source energy to give others force seeds. There are opportunities to make money. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1216. The third reward is the Jedi Knight profession that the explorer obtains. The biggest advantage is that the qualification of this character has become better. The so-called better qualifications is specifically reflected in the game that the 5 attributes grow faster. As an ascetic, the explorer originally grew a little faster than other professions, but not too much faster. And the ascetic is mainly based on balance. The character who was originally a magic profession will increase the growth rate of physical attributes after becoming an ascetic. Correspondingly, the character who was originally a physical profession will increase the growth rate of spiritual attributes after becoming an ascetic. In general, it is to make the ascetic develop in a balanced way, without which one will be particularly weak, which is equivalent to practicing magic and martial arts. The Jedi is actually the same. Every Jedi is an excellent warrior and also has powerful spiritual skills. However, the Jedi is a step higher than the ascetic, so after having this profession, the explorer's 5 attributes have all gained a faster growth rate. Originally, after completing the advanced task, the explorer was upgraded to level 3 and level 0. The growth rate of the 3rd level ascetic, the explorer, is as follows. For every 5 levels of adventure, his strength, constitution, and agility are at 2.5 each, intelligence and spirit are at 4 each, free attribute points are at 2, and the number of hired soldiers is at 2. Because he became a Jedi Knight, this speed is increased again. It becomes add 5 for each of the 5 attributes for every 5 levels, free attribute points are at 3, and the number of hired soldiers is at 2. The speed of improvement is quite good. Every 5 levels, the explorer character will have 3.5 more attribute points than other ascetics, and the growth rate is 1/2 faster. At the same time, the 5 attributes are also brought into line. Although this data is not small, it seems a bit unworthy of the high-end temperament of Jedi Knight. He is a profession respected by the whole galaxy. In fact, the magic planet is not the real world. All kinds of professions in the game have magic power bonuses. Even the physical professions are the same. They are no worse than Jedi Knights at the highest level. Therefore, at the lower level, the Jedi Knight profession can only bring such a bonus to the explorer. If there are more preferential treatments, the Jedi Knight will be too strong. Fourth, the explorer has obtained the 6th level universal weapon lightsaber. This equipment looks very powerful. Because the characteristics of universal weapons are very powerful. Although the explorer is only at level 3, he can use the 6th level lightsaber now. Of course, the 6th level lightsaber consumes a lot of force. With the little force reserve that the explorer has just started to practice, the lightsaber cannot be activated at all. Only when Xiao Ming personally operates the explorer can this lightsaber be used and the 6th level attack power can be exerted. But then again, if Xiao Ming goes online personally, even if he does not use the lightsaber, he can also issue 6th level B level, 7th level A level or even 8th level S level attack power. So the benefits of this weapon are just like that. In other secret realms, it may play a greater role. I don't know if his body can withstand the lightsaber to chop the Chimera and King Miru M. Similar to the lightsaber, Xiao Ming has also obtained a 6th level weapon before Loki's dagger. To use this dagger, you need to consume mental energy. It is also a weapon that Xiao Ming must be online to use. It is as awkward as the lightsaber. Let's not talk about it. Fifth, the explorer obtains adventure experience capped at level 5. The adventure level is upgraded to level 3 and level 5. Sixth, the explorer obtains a large amount of gold coins, resources, and materials. I won't go into details here. After all, the rewards given by the ascetic monks will be collected next, and there will be a large amount of adventure experience and resources and money. As expected, after the Su Wangzhao Di issued the reward, the explorer's level was upgraded to level 3 and level 10. Xiao Ming's wallet shrank a lot last month. Because he sold a large amount of gold coins to Long Aotian Studio and Zhao Rui of the Song Wang family. Today, it finally swelled back. Speaking of these two transactions, the final payment has not yet been received. Several bosses of Long Aotian Studio are Xiao Ming's friends. Recently, they have just recruited 2 professional players, Sanya and Zhong are Shaonian. It is time to show their skills. So Xiaoming doesn't mind if they are a little slow in terms of money. But the Songwang family shouldn't be like that. How could they be short of such a small amount of money? Xiaoming is actually a little happy that he has not received any news from the Songwang family so far. Based on his previous experience dealing with various top forces, the Songwang family may think that giving money is too vulgar, and intends to compensate with reincarnation items or something else. He just needs to wait and see. Back to the rewards given by the ascetic monk. In addition to experience and money, the first item is the noble status that the explorer once obtained, but was cancelled because of joining the Liangshan forces. The explorer's contribution to the introduction of the Jedi Knight profession to the Song dynasty is really too great. Even if his superficial identity is still a bandit, the court must make him a noble. He may be the only leader in Liangshan who can enter any city openly without being arrested by officers and soldiers. Of course, if the explorer reveals his identity, although the officers and soldiers cannot arrest him, they must send people to monitor him. They can't let him cause damage at will, right? The explorer was only a second-class knight before, which was considered to be the threshold of nobility. However, this time his contribution was so great that he was directly promoted to a third-class earl. It can be said that his bandit identity still dragged him down. Otherwise, he would definitely not be just a third-class earl. Maybe he would be a marquis or even a duke. For the current explorer, the treatment of the third-class earl medal of the Song dynasty has made him very happy. 1. You can hire 2 fifth-level human soldiers as your noble guards. 2. You can receive a salary of 2 million gold coins per month in the court office. 3. Gain life and professional experience add 32%. 4. Life add 800, strength add 800, mana add 800, mercenary limit add 8. Wow! So amazing! Although the explorer is only at level 3, he can already have a 5th level noble guard. Although the salary of a 5th level guard is very high. But the explorer has a monthly salary of 2 million gold coins, which is more than enough to cope with this salary. It is worthy of being a fantasy game, and gold coins are really worthless. If there were so many gold coins in reality. Hee. The speed of gaining life profession experience has increased by about 1/3. After practicing life professions, the speed will be much faster. As for the preferential treatment of the 4th attribute, it is still quite useful. It would be better if it could supplement some force. When Xiaoming is online, the strength of the explorer can be increased to level 7 or even level 8. A little bit of attribute and mercenary bonus is actually not a big deal. However, Xiaoming is often not online. When Xiao controls the explorer, the benefits of these rewards are immeasurable. The combat power is at least doubled. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1217. Nobles are also divided into different levels. The knight status obtained by explorers and researchers is just a primary school student among the nobles. The high-ranking nobles do not take the knight seriously at all, and can only show off their power in front of the common people, and they may not buy it. But when you reach the earl, you are already a middle to high-level noble. Not only will you not be ignored, but you also have the advantage of status. Now explorers can not only enter the capital of a big country like Tokyo, but also use many functional buildings in the city. For example, libraries, military camps, etc. Even if you can find a suitable reason, you can enter the palace. You don't have to bother Zaiwen, the NPC, to borrow books for you anymore. This will reduce the possibility of his exposure, and you can use him as a surprise soldier in the future. Since the status of the Song dynasty in the East Asian cultural circle is still relatively high, although the country's foreign wars are always a bit messy. But the cultural attainments of the Song dynasty are as tall and majestic as Mount Everest, and are admired by the world. Therefore, the earls of the Song dynasty will mostly receive preferential treatment in other nearby countries. Even a country like Liao, which has always bullied Song dynasty militarily, would give certain conveniences to the nobles of Song dynasty. With the high status, there are many conveniences. Now, even if the explorer says something to an NPC he doesn't know, it can have some weight. Unlike ordinary players, no matter what they say before they raise the other party's favorability, the NPC will ignore them. The explorer used to be Guo Lao's apprentice. In a small circle within a certain range, his words have weight. But outside the circle, it's not the same. Now he has become an earl. Not to mention outside the circle, even if he goes abroad, others will weigh what he says. This advantage is actually more important than the previous attributes and data advantages if it is used well. However, only the masters among professional players can truly make full use of their own advantages. Xiaoming, a otaku, is still muddling along. The reward of this title alone has made Xiaoming very satisfied. But just a title is not enough to express the importance of NPCs. The status of the Earl is given by the state, and the ascetic group also gives the explorer a more noble status, the Temple Manager. The explorer obtains primary light temple summoning scroll *1. It can be used on the strategic map or adventure map to build a primary light temple. Xiaoming's other character, the diver, is the manager of the light temple in the underwater limestone town. The explorer is the same manager, but the path to obtain it is a little different. The diver was selected by the system to be the manager because he first built the light temple on the seabed with the summoning scroll. The scroll actually came from the explorer. At first, the diver was still an apprentice, and his temple was only a test temple at first, and later it was officially recognized by the system. The explorer is different. He became the temple manager first, and then obtained the temple summoning scroll. After he uses the scroll in the right place, he will automatically become the manager. And he will also directly summon the primary temple. Normally, when the ascetic appoints someone to be the manager of the temple, he will designate an existing temple for him to manage. But this is the treatment that only NPCs have. If it were a different player, the system would not allow the player to ascend to heaven in one step and give the player a large-scale temple for nothing. So what is given is the scroll, and the player has to build and develop his own temple bit by bit from the beginning. From the experience of the diver, it is indeed good to have a temple. Not to mention the various legends, job transfers, blessings, and even attack functions, the ability to form a temple guard in the adventure map and the strategic map is the most powerful. In addition, the temple is a building that also has multiple functions such as shops, inns, warehouses, etc., which is also very good for making money. The diver's Temple of Light is a major source of income for Xiaoming. Selling products of various ethnic groups on the ground to the seabed made him earn a lot of money. The explorer happily collected the scroll. Continue to accept the rewards awarded by Su Wangzhao did. The last reward was also beyond Xiaoming's expectation. It turned out to upgrade the racial talent in the explorer's strategic attributes. The talent of the primary ascetic monk was upgraded to the intermediate ascetic monk. Speed plus N equals hero rank add 2, for the ascetic soldiers led by the hero, attack and defense add 4%. This talent is quite good in terms of attributes, but unfortunately it cannot be used in the short term. The explorer has not had the opportunity to show his skills on the strategic map yet. His strategic level is still level 0, level 2. So far, the rewards given by the ascetic group have been fully released. Su Wangzhao said to the explorer again, "Explorer, I have an unwelcome request. I don't know if I should say it or not." Since he was so polite, Xiaoming naturally had to speak up, "If the prince has something to do, please give me your orders." The explorer will definitely go through fire and water without hesitation. How could I refuse? Whenever the NPC said this to the player, it often meant that there was a task. Any player would be very understanding. However, the only one who was qualified to talk to Zhao Di and ask him for something was the explorer. Xiao Ming's eyes were full of stars, hoping for a more powerful task. It turned out that it was not a difficult task. He just helped Su Wang Zhao Di to open the force and become an apprentice Jedi Knight. He is a 7th level master, and his fighting power is comparable to that of Yu Kailan Lu Junyi. After becoming a Jedi Knight, he will probably be even more powerful. Will there be any problems with Liang Shan? That's not something Xiao Ming has to worry about. Completing the mission is the real thing. So King Su, who obtained the Force Seed, returned the favor and taught the explorer a set of Tasia stick techniques. Song Tasia Zhao Quangayan was quite good at martial arts and once traveled the world with a stick in his hand. It can be seen that his martial arts were extraordinary. He created the Teng Snake stick technique, which was also called Tasia stick technique in later generations. Yu Dao, a famous general who fought against the Japanese in the Ming dynasty, was good at Tasia stick technique. Of course, the explorer learned the magic modified version. The power is much higher than the ascetic monk's staff technique. It is also very different from the original stick technique. The ascetic monk's staff technique is only a blue excellent level martial arts, while the Tasia stick technique is an orange epic level martial arts. The power is naturally extraordinary. Moreover, the ascetic monk's staff technique that the explorer has learned is only a primary staff technique. After he is upgraded, the inheritance ability of the ascetic monk set will teach him the subsequent staff techniques bit by bit. Now that the explorer has reached level 3, the ascetic monk can learn the intermediate version of the staff method. But the Tasia staff method is different. Zhao Di can only teach the explorer the elementary Tasia staff method applicable to level 3. In the future, if you want to upgrade again, you have to find Zhao Di to continue your studies. Anyway, now the explorer can enter the city at will. It is still easy to find Prince Su. There is a Prince Su's mansion in Tokyo Bianliang. Zhao Di promised that even if he reached level 6, he would still be willing to teach the explorer the staff method for free. Level 7 is not possible. If you want to learn, you need to make greater contributions. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1218. In fact, King Su Zhao Di did not have to ask the explorer for a job as a Jedi Knight. Since Xiao Ming strengthened the dervish suit, making the Jedi profession completely rooted in the main game. It's not just the explorers themselves who have been given job openings. There are 3 other major forces that also have this quota. That is the Song Dynasty Court, the ascetic monks, and Liang Shan. It is impossible for the system to give all the inaugural power to the player character of the explorer. Some must be allocated to NPC forces. Unfortunately, the Huo Chamber of Commerce did not have enough qualifications and failed to get a quota. Only this time, the credit goes almost entirely to the explorers. So much so that the quotas of these 3 major forces combined were equal to those of the explorers. This is not the case under normal circumstances. It should be that the dervish group worked hard to study the inheritance of the Jedi Knights, and finally made this profession settle in the game. Then the dervishes received the most places, followed by the court, and then the explorers. As for where Liangshan will be ranked, it depends on how much effort they will put in. What's more, other forces may come in to intervene. After all, it takes a long time to specialize in inheritance, so it is difficult to keep it secret. After other forces learn about it, they can intervene in the research work through high-level means, or they can send tasks to players so that their own forces can also obtain Jedi Knights and continue to study it carefully. The system will tally up the research results of all parties. When the total reaches a certain level, the Jedi Knight profession will officially enter the main game. At that time, everyone more or less had a quota. This is the original design of the game. Moreover, the major forces will continue to study to increase their own quota, or exchange results with each other, Steal the results, there are many tasks again. As an ascetic archbishop and a member of the royal family, Zhao Di can compete for the quotas of the other two forces except Chuabo Liangshan. It was too difficult to get the spot in the imperial court, but he definitely had a chance to get the ascetic monk's spot. However, Zhao Di was very wise. He knew that he would have to pay a huge price to obtain the place as an ascetic monk. Instead, he could gain greater political benefits in exchange for giving it away. As for inaugurating the Jedi, the explorer is under his command, so the price of asking for a job quota from him must be smaller, right? In fact, the Tasia stick technique he paid to the explorers was not a price at all in the eyes of the court and senior ascetic monks. Because people already know how to do it. Giving it to an explorer who has just been promoted to level 3 will actually make him grateful. Why not? They are all veterans in the political arena. Other forces are also aware of his plans, but they still have to support him. Whoever gets the best of them first. Besides, even if Zhao Di has already taken office, he can still compete with them for places. Who doesn't have 5 or 76 subordinates who need to be trained? If someone is willing to give in, others should be grateful. Some people even bribed Zhao Di heavily, hoping that he would support their side to obtain a quota. Therefore, not only King Su Zhao Di, but also the whole family including Mr. Guo made a lot of money. Not only money, but also various interests such as status, voice, military strength, etc. After finishing the business, Zhao Di still didn't leave. He put his arm around the explorer's shoulders and asked mysteriously, "You are Mr. Guo's apprentice? I will call you my nephew. Do you mind?" Seeing the explorer nodding, he continued, "My dear nephew, I heard that your craftsmanship is very good, and the ascetic barbecue you make is more delicious than others. He, do you think?" Seeing Zhao Di's suddenly very serious face, Xiaoming became a little doubtful about his royal status. "For a prince like you, this is too low a price." This is because Xiaoming does not know enough about the identity of an ascetic monk. The ascetic monks regard themselves only a little higher than the beggars. They go deep into the masses and are no different from ordinary people. It is difficult for people without this understanding to achieve high achievements in the profession of ascetic monks. Except players. The royal family of the Song dynasty sent at least 3 to 5 people to the ascetic group. Zhao Di was able to stand out and become the 7th level archbishop, which shows that he is a person who strictly practices the concept of ascetic monks. He and the explorer were shoulder to shoulder. Mr. Guo and Mr. Hong didn't think it was strange at all, and even came over. The eyes of 6 old men staring at the explorers were really unbearable. A few minutes later, in the backyard of the ascetic temple in Tokyo, several people squatted in a circle without even a bench. Everyone watched eagerly as the explorers made a fire to barbecue, then looted, then roasted again, and then looted. Why does Xiaoming grill the meat himself? It's not because it hasn't been online for a long time. It turns out that the inventory is running low. Instead of using the old stuff, I grilled some new ones myself. Added 2 levels of source energy enhancement to flatter these experts. Don't tell me, the effect is excellent, and the favorability is rising steadily. Illusion. The atmosphere around the fire was joyful. Suddenly, Fan Rui, the demon king who was eating barbecue, was startled, but he caught the attention of Huo Yingxiang, who was squatting next to him. Explorer and Fan Rui have been living in the temple for a long time. They are basically familiar with Huo Yingxiang, the manager of the temple. Huo Yingxiang asked directly, "Master Fan, what's wrong with you? If you don't want to eat your meat, just give it to me." He was just joking, but Fan Rui actually handed him the half-eaten barbecue. Huo Yingxiang was stunned. Fan Rui winked at the explorer, apologized to a few people, and took the explorer away. Xiaoming received the wink and naturally followed him obediently. "Hey! Huo Yingxiang wanted to ask another question, but just as he said hey, he was stopped by a look from old Guo. He was a little confused, and then he looked at Zhao Di and old Hong, both of whom looked calm. It seems that they all knew the reason. Huo Yingxiang scratched his head, and he couldn't figure out the reason at all, and he didn't know whether he should ask. His face was quite tangled. It is estimated that after eating 2 more bites of barbecue, he would not be tangled. At this time, old Guo came to him and whispered, "Don't ask, it's a message from Liangshan." Huo Yingxiang suddenly realized it, grabbed the barbecue and continued to eat. Among these people, Huo Yingxiang's brain is not very good, otherwise he should have thought of it earlier. The explorer has made great contributions, and the Song dynasty court and the ascetic monks will reward him, not to mention the Liangshan forces he is now loyal to. The reason why he came late is because of the location. If the explorer and Fan Rui are in the wilderness, then the people from Liangshan should arrive first. Unfortunately, they were in the capital of the Song dynasty, and the defense was extremely tight. No matter how strong Liangshan was, it couldn't send people directly to the city of Tokyo Bianliang. Not to mention a temple of ascetics. Even sending letters by pigeon was difficult. So this time the Liangshan leaders used the Taoist method, 1,000-mile sound transmission. With the help of the Taoist magic connection between Gongsun Sheng and Fan Rui, the rewards were distributed. As a result, there were no treasures in the prizes this time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1219. Bandits like Liangshan are the ones who know how to win over talents. The rewards for explorers are very generous. Although the treasures cannot be delivered, there is no problem in giving gold coins. The gold coins Liangshan gives to explorers are much more than the sum of the money given by the court and the monks. Xiaoming couldn't help but think of what Sister Susu said in the world of taking the martial, "We underworld don't have much else, but we have the most cash." Liangshan is basically a gangster, often robbing houses and looting the treasury. There is a lot of money in the mountain stronghold, and it is not even easy to spend it. In terms of experience, the explorer's adventure level has risen by 5 levels again, reaching level 3 and level 15. I don't know if it has broken the record by rising 15 levels in one day. In addition, Liangshan has also upgraded the explorer's title, Deputy Star of Tianxian Star. If he doesn't give him a regular position, Song Jiang is also worried that he can't keep the explorer. As the founder of Jedi Knight, the explorer will be fought over wherever he goes. Probably only the undead clan is not interested in him. Among the 108 generals of Liangshan Marsh, the main star of Tianxian Star is Ruyanlong Gongsun Sheng. He is also the direct superior of the explorer. So the explorer naturally became his deputy star. With the title of Deputy Star of Tianxian Star, you can summon Gongsun Sheng's projection once a day to serve you for an hour. You can fight or do other things. Gongsun Sheng's body is a master of the upper level of level 6, while the projection that the explorer can summon is only the strength of the lower level of level 6. Not as strong as the real person. Moreover, the summoning time will be reset to 0 at the end of each game, and it cannot be accumulated. You have the right not to use it, and it will expire. Other players probably use it to summon the level 6 Gongsun Sheng projection to help them fight at critical moments. This is a magic weapon for difficult tasks. Only when there is no trouble all day today, the player will summon Gongsun Sheng's projection in the last hour of each day to learn Taoism from him. Projections can also be teachers. With his help, players will gain experience as a chi refiner faster. Even when the explorer is operated by an intelligent program, it will be handled in this way. It will not be wasted. It is estimated that players who are qualified to summon Gongsun Sheng's projection will have a second profession like a Taoist priest. Only when Xiaoming is online in person, it is not necessary to do so. Xiaoming can summon powerful clones and mind beasts by himself, and he is not short of a B-level Gongsun Sheng projection. However, he will not always operate the Explorer, and will often switch to other characters. Therefore, it is better to leave the opportunity to use the projection every day to the intelligent program. Don't waste it casually. A level 3 player can summon a level 6 projection. In this way, when Xiaoming is not online, the Explorer's safety is greatly increased. The ability to pass tasks is also greatly increased. Of course, Xiaoming actually has too many advantages over other players in this regard. Because he has a universal item level 3 summoning cube. There are many masters living in it, including level 6. However, summoning those masters requires consuming the player's character's mana, so it cannot be maintained for too long. It is not as convenient as the title of Tianxiangxing's deputy star. Summoning Gongsun Sheng's projection does not require the explorer to consume anything. At the same time, Liangshan sent 2 4th-level soldiers as special shadow warriors to protect the explorer's personal safety because of the high importance of the explorer. This is extraordinary protection. Normal players who have just joined Liangshan cannot have such treatment. However, as a deputy star of Tianxiangxing, there will be such treatment. There are still 2 5th-level soldiers as shadow warriors. At the same time, the original 2 4th-level ones did not leave. Now, the shadow warriors can all play mahjong together. In addition, there is another benefit of being a deputy star. It is about the skin, and the difference is not shown at present. You should know that above the deputy general bandit skin, there are also main general skin, martial skin, etc. Each skin is divided into 3 levels: primary, intermediate, and advanced. Generally, each level of skin has only 10 levels. After reaching the maximum level, players need to obtain higher level skins to continue to be promoted. A common situation is that players have already upgraded their skin to level 10, but have not yet obtained a higher level skin. But the situation of the explorer is different now. As a vice star of Tianxian star, the upper limit of his skin level is the advanced general skin. In other words, if the explorer upgrades the primary vice general skin to the maximum, he will immediately obtain the intermediate vice general, advanced vice general, primary main general, intermediate main general, and so on, until the advanced general skin. The road ahead is smooth. It's a pity that he only has the second level of the primary vice general skin now. How much effort will it take to stack it up to the advanced general skin? Unfortunately, the skin can be strengthened by source energy. His primary vice general skin can be upgraded to level 30. This is still owed 2 times of strengthening. If these 2 times are used, the primary vice general skin alone can reach level 50. I don't know when I want to upgrade it to the maximum level. Thinking about the various levels of skins that will come next, Xiaoming feels a little confused. Hundreds of levels. If you want to upgrade them all, you may have to destroy several countries. Of course, the benefits are also very obvious. If a player character's skin, from Deputy General to Marshal, is at level 50 or even higher, his war strength is more than n times stronger than those who only have level 10 skins. From the current point of view, it will take a long time for players to become marshals. But in terms of the ultimate result, the skin of level 50 is definitely more beneficial to players. In fact, this is one of the reasons why the system NPC is stronger than the player character. Those famous generals of various countries, such as Yu Fei and Han Shizhong, the upper limit of their skins at each level may be more than level 50. Only then can they show such a strong combat power. A strong marshal or general is enough to fight against enemies that are dozens of times larger than themselves. In theory, the player character can also catch up with them. As long as the player can upgrade all his skins to the highest level. The so-called wearing a crown must bear its weight. Since the system allows Xiaoming to strengthen his skin, it means that the system has prepared the corresponding level and tasks. The problem is that an ordinary player cannot receive so many tasks. No matter in terms of time, resources, or energy, it is completely impossible. Only large professional player guilds can concentrate resources on 1 or 2 players or NPCs to cultivate a strong general or marshal. If a guild does not have such a strong general or marshal, it will be very difficult to play in the later stages of the game. There is no way to compete with the enemy. Other guilds have famous generals like Yufei, but the strongest person in your family is Liao Hua. How can you compete with them? Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 1220. Having become the vice star of Tianxian Star, the explorer can now choose to end this trip down the mountain. As long as he returns to Liangshan to end his trip now, the explorer can conquer the strategic map. However, Xiaoming believes that if he continues to travel, he will definitely encounter various copies related to Liangshan heroes, which will improve the favorability between the explorer and the major leaders. This will be of great help to his future development in Liangshan. So he chose to continue to travel in the territory of Song Dynasty and not return to Liangshan. In fact, the improvement of the explorer's status this time has some additional benefits. They will be slowly revealed in the future. In terms of recruiting soldiers, more hidden soldiers and high-level soldiers are open to explorers. In terms of the power that can be purchased in shops, many major merchants in Song Dynasty also allow explorers to buy high-level products. For example, the blueprints of high-level barracks. Before becoming an earl, the explorer must complete the relevant tasks to have the opportunity to obtain the blueprints. Now, as long as you find a suitable shop, you can buy it directly. Of course, the number of such things that survive is limited, and the number that can be purchased is also limited. In addition, in terms of accepting tasks, the identity of the Earl and the identity of the Deputy Star of Tianxian Star can allow the explorer to receive more secret and powerful tasks. This is all for later. Xiaoming did not immediately control the explorer to go out and continue the barbecue, but thoroughly sorted out the attributes and equipment of the current character. Let's talk about the ascetic equipment that has just been strengthened. Jedi Knight Alchemy Swordsman Strong Crossbow Ascetic Set, 3rd level 15 Orange Epic Inheritance Equipment. Attributes: Life add 960, Strength add 960, Mana add 1280. Physical Defense add 240, Magic Defense add 320. Jedi Knight Alchemy Swordsman Strong Crossbow Ascetic Cane, 3rd level 15 Orange Epic Inheritance Equipment. Normal Form, Magic Attack add 640, Strong Crossbow Form, Long Range Physical Attack add 480, One-Handed Sword Form, Melee Physical Attack add 480, Alchemical Tool Form, Puppet Making Success Rate add 80%, Light Sword Form, Melee Physical Attack add 800. That's right, the Monk's Cane has this feature, it can be transformed into a lightsaber. The improvement of physical attack is still a small matter, and being able to use the skills of the Jedi Knight is the biggest advantage. Xiaoming is very much looking forward to seeing what skills the Jedi Knight has. Upgraded to level 3 and level 15. The 5 attributes of the explorer are currently like this. Strength, physique, and agility are all 39, intelligence 51, spirit 66. Including equipment, the explorer's health is 1580, strength 1580, and mana 2120. The Earl's medal is really powerful. It's just that the spiritual power and original force are still very little, after all, they have just started practicing. The amount of spiritual power depends on the level of the second professional Taoist priest. At present, the Explorer is a level 2 Chi refiner, so the spiritual power limit is only 200 points. The original force grows by 100 points every 5 levels from the level 3 Explorer to the Jedi Knight, and now there are 300 points. These two items are basically not enough to do much, and only when Xiao Ming goes online personally, consuming his own energy, can he use them freely. The physical attack is close to 1000, and the magic attack is close to 900. The reason why the physical attack is so high is all because of the bonus of the lightsaber. Otherwise, the Explorer is mainly a magic profession, and the magic attack should be stronger. In terms of defense, it is normal. The physical defense is more than 400, and the magic defense is more than 600. This is what a magic profession should look like. And the Explorer can now bring more subordinates with him. He can lead 33 regular mercenaries with him, of which the first, second, and third level soldiers must each account for 1/3. In addition, he can bring 2 normal 3rd level shadow warriors, 2 5th level Tianxiangxing deputy star shadow warriors, 2 4th level shadow warriors in special periods, 2 5th level noble guards. If all of these are fully staffed, it will be a big pile. Unfortunately, whether it is a shadow warrior or a noble guard, they are only responsible for defense and not attack. When Xiao Ming is online, all of these are useless. If he is not online, Xiao Er has more room to play. After reaching level 3, the Explorer can learn more skills. However, Xiao Ming himself doesn't care about these level 3 skills. He can't use them at all. Let Xiao Er handle it. Whatever skills he wants to learn, he can learn them by himself. Anyway, Xiao Ming doesn't care. Some abilities given to explorers by the Jedi Knight profession are interesting. The application of the Force is very wide. First, practicing the Force can improve physical fitness in an all-round way. This feature is reflected in the growth rate of the 5 attributes of the Explorer now. Second, the Jedi Knight can sense the existence of life and even its inner emotions by sensing the Force on living matter. If the Force cultivation reaches a certain level, it can even directly see through the object's thoughts. At Xiao Ming's current level, these abilities are not useful. To sense the existence of life, he has the circle of telekinesis and the scanning map of mental power. To explore other people's hearts, he has telepathy and even the ability of Hades. It's a bit useless. Third, practicing the Force can move objects with thoughts. This is not very useful either. Xiao Ming's other supernatural energies, such as the microcosm and mental power, can do this. Fourth, attaching the Force to the lightsaber can greatly increase the attack power. This is why the lightsaber's physical attack is super strong. In the original book, the lightsaber can also bounce back the attack of laser weapons. In the main game, it is a long-range attack on supernatural energy with a certain rebound probability. Xiao Ming is not sure what effect it will have in reality. He needs to wait until he is familiar with it before conducting experiments. These functions are already good, but the application of the Force is more than that. It's just that the Explorer is only level 3 at present, and has not obtained more inheritance. In addition, the Explorer's spiritual pet, the spirit dog Ziobai, has also been upgraded with the owner. The original skills have been enhanced, and new skills have been learned. Unfortunately, the combat effectiveness of a level 3, level 15 spirit dog is almost dispensable to Xiao Ming. I won't go into details here. On the contrary, the Explorer's special life skill, the strengthening of Angel Gate, is more useful. As the Explorer is upgraded to level 3, the angels that can be summoned by the Angel Gate are upgraded from level 4 to level 5, with stronger attributes and a longer existence time of 30 minutes. The number of times the resurrection skill is used per day has changed from once to twice. That's about it. The resurrection skill is what Xiao Ming likes the most. After all, even with Xiao Ming's current S level, he still does not have the ability to resurrect the dead. Whenever Xiao Ming thinks of this, he feels strange. he is the Hades. In the past, watching TV dramas or legends, the Hades can add life to people. The dead can also be brought back to life and live for 2 more years. I remember that in Journey to the West, the Hades added 20 years of life to Emperor Taizong of Tang Li Shimin. Could it be that it is just human imagination? The actual situation is that the Hades does not control human life. He only judges people after they die. Sometimes he will take the lives of evil people in advance. But he does not have the ability to bring the dead back to life. Anyway, Xiaoming, the Quafu Hades, can't do it? I will ask my master Acha when I have a chance in the future.